Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today we have breaking news out of the NBA. The Heat are trading for very good point guard Terry Rozier from the Charlotte Hornets. And before we get into what this trade means for both teams, we have to go over the package first. So the Miami Heat, who are one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference this year, they made the finals last year. They are getting Terry Rozier from Charlotte in exchange for Kyle Lowry and a lottery-protected 2027 pick. And by lottery-protected, that means that if the pick lands in the lottery, the Heat will keep it. So let's just go over this trade. So first of all, Terry Rozier has been one of the better players in the NBA at scoring the ball this year. If you look at his stats, one of the things floating around Instagram and Twitter and stuff has been that he is playing better than Damian Lillard, and his stats definitely back that up. Probably isn't, obviously, playing better than Damian Lillard because he's still one of the better players in the NBA. But Rozier is having a career year this year on a bad Charlotte team, and it's surprising that they couldn't get more than an aging veteran and a lottery-protected pick for him because he's been really good. If you look at his stats, he is averaging this year... Let's see. 23.2 points, 6.6 assists, 3.9 rebounds, 1.1 steals, and that's it in 30 games this year. So he's missed some time. So that's kind of a smaller sample size because he's missed about 15 games. But he's still having a great year. Last year, 21, 5, 4, and 1. It's going to be really interesting, though, to see if those numbers were just so good in Charlotte after he wasn't very good in Boston, because of the Miami system or because of the Charlotte system, or if it's because he really has been good. If he's really good, then that would be the perfect fit for Miami. They're going to have now a starting lineup when fully healthy of Terry Rozier, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, and then at the power forward it'll be Kevin Love or Caleb Martin, and then the center's Bam. That's a team that can go deep in the Eastern Conference. I don't think that they're championship contenders. That's not what Rozier is really for. He signed in 2022 a 4-year, $97 million extension with the Hornets for about $25 million a year on average. So this is the third year of that extension. So next year he will be on his contract year. So the Heat get a guy who has the rest of this year and next year to help them be a championship threat. This offseason they will clear up some salary room, but there's not any amazing free agents that Miami could go after. I think that they should try to move up in the draft this year and get a quality young player to go along on the bench with Jaime and all them. Because if they can draft another Jaime Jaquez, it's basically wraps for the league in 2 years. Rozier, though, he's a really good scoring guard. Undersized for the two that he was playing in Charlotte. He wasn't a great fit with LaMelo Ball. He is only 6'1", and he was running the shooting guard. Now in Miami, he'll get to run the full point guard position. He's a really good scorer. Does a little bit of everything on offense. Decent defender. He was a great Miami fan growing up, I heard. I heard that Dwayne Wade was his favorite player growing up. So he gets to play for the franchise that he was a fan of. What else? The Hornets, though, they are getting Kyle Lowry. And it says here, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, that they are not planning to pursue an immediate buyout with Kyle Lowry. And I think that makes sense because while they're a young rebuilding team that's like 13 wins this year, they are still in need of some point guard depth. Lowry is like 37, but they still have Ish Smith on the team. He's like 36. And I think Lowry would be an amazing mentor to LaMelo Ball to help his playmaking reach a whole nother level and some of his other areas of his game that he's been struggling with. Because LaMelo is a really good player. He was an all-star 2 years ago. But that does not mean that he's a perfect all-around player. He still has a lot of stuff to get better at. And if they keep Kyle Lowry, that's one of the things that he can definitely help with for this Hornets team. Also, the Hornets get that pick in 2027. And it's easy for the Heat to be bad by then because Jimmy Butler's like 33, 34. So he could be even retired by then if he decides to end his career pretty early. That's 3 years down the line. The Heat could be bad, and that's bad for the Hornets in this situation because it's a lottery protected pick. So even if they are in the lottery, the pick still goes to Miami. So Charlotte would not get the pick. They have to hope that Miami's good that year. And Miami has no reason not to tank if they have their pick lottery protected. They could go for the number one pick that year if Butler's already retired. If it's like the first year after Butler retires, then why not just try to be terrible at basketball? You want to get your pick if you're right inside the playoffs. So, yeah, that's interesting. The Lakers were potentially interested in Terry Rozier among other teams. I think Rozier could have gone for way more from another team. I think the Charlotte Hornets just wanted the pick. I think that it could be used as an asset, though, and I think Lowry is not safe either. If they don't decide to buy him out or they just decide to not keep him, I think some team might want him. I feel like Lowry would be a good fit on the Spurs. He's on an expiring contract making $30 million a year, which means, yes, he is overpaid this year, but it is the last year of his deal. So after this year, no team will have to be committed to Lowry's full salary. So any team could look to get him as a one-year rental, and then maybe he even retires after this year. He's like 38 years old. Rozier, though, I do like the fit for Miami. Spoelstra has had some great teams, and I feel like this team is not bad. It's just not championship level. For this trade, I'm going to give the Heat A+, because they gave up basically nothing to get one of the more underrated players in the league. And for Charlotte, I feel like they could have got a better return from a different team. So I'm going to give them a C+, but it's really going to go down the line, depend on down the line if that pick conveys. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.